So this video is about OneNote and some thoughts and suggestions I have on it. Just to give a little background, I've been using OneNote now for over a year. I have it on all my devices. Obviously, this Windows desktop, which I built, my MacBook laptop, my iPhone. So I'm very familiar with the software, and I do actually really love OneNote. First and foremost, I think that the syncing needs to be fixed. This happens occasionally. Ironically, it happened just now as I was typing this, fix weird syncing issues. Like right now, I can't really do anything with it. So it's telling me, okay, well, I want the current one. Let's see. Current changes. Copy the changes you want to keep and paste them to the current page. When done, delete the conflict version. Paste them to the current page. So it's saying I need to copy it and then paste. Let's try that. So I'm trying to cut, it's not working. Well, I did that, okay. So I got rid of it. Again, it's just weird. So I did actually copy it. I hit the cut button, but it didn't work. So that's a huge one. Fix weird syncing issues. I definitely think you guys need to look into that. The next suggestion would be to add a keyboard shortcut guide. I'm a huge fan of keyboard shortcuts, and there isn't really an easy way to access that as far as I can tell here, unless I go and manually Google it, which is pretty ghetto. I think that it would be nice to have a keyboard shortcut somewhere here, in the settings, just somewhere obvious. For people like me who do like to use keyboard shortcuts as much as possible, it is nice to be able to navigate and make those keyboard shortcuts very obvious and maybe even customizable. The next would be to have only one desktop version of OneNote. As far as I know, there's at least two. There's a 2016 version and then the one I'm using right now, which is the default one, which comes with Windows 10. I think that's a little silly to have multiple versions, but knowing Microsoft, you guys always have multiple versions of your products running around, which I think is a little silly. I think it would be much more coherent if you forced your users to only use one version. Whatever after Windows 7, I think the architecture would be pretty similar, so it wouldn't be too crazy to ask for that kind of change. The next would be to change the ability to change the header color and or icon. So right now it's purple, and it took me a while to get used to it. I think now I am, I do not mind the color purple, I guess, but would be nice. It's such a simple thing to be able to change. Let's say I could right-click the header and then be able to select the color or have that match the icon, if the color were to change, or just something. I don't know. I'm personally not a huge fan of purple, but that's just a minor suggestion. I think you guys need to give more clearance for writing notes. There's this weird left selection arrow where I can like select and then move, but then it's kind of silly. It's not really a useful feature. Like I'm not going to sit here and manually click it. I'd rather just delete it, or copy and paste it out rather than me having to select it. I guess the idea is to make it feel more sandboxy, but to me it just seems more clunky. You got this silly thing moving around, and then also I'm able to like move the text where I want, which is nice, but I think instead of having it automatically there all the time, instead just have it nice and clean like this, and then when you want to have text selection, instead of dragging over it and then having the box show up, just clicking it, so having it have a function to click and then drag over rather than automatically having it. I think that gives more space and just less useless clutter. Like a lot of this stuff is useless. Like these three would be gotten rid of with a keyboard shortcut. Highlight could be a keyboard shortcut if it's not already there. I would know that if you guys had a guide. Just a lot of this shit is like really useless. Pardon my French. For me, I just personally just want the ability to write notes, even get rid of these four buttons, look at my notes, and then occasionally draw when I want to click the header. Like stuff like this is totally useless. This button, I think it's great for IDEs where there's so many functions, but a button like this, it's like I'm not gonna go and type into that to highlight, It's like it's just silly. So just a lot of features I think could be removed, or these two are keyboard shortcuts. Anyways, oh, a notebook scanner and handwriting recognitions. As far as I know, there is one. See, this goes again with one version. As far as I know, there is one version of OneNote which has handwriting recognition, but unfortunately, it's not easy to either not easy to access, which is silly, or B, isn't available on certain versions, which is even sillier because if it's available on one version, it should be synchronous across all. So I think that it would be nice if you guys added that handwriting recognition somehow, if the tech is worked out, and just make it easier to insert a picture or whatever you want to call it, a scanner. I know the iPhone has a note scanner, which is great. It formats it in a perfect square, and then it does whatever magic to realign the text. But it would be nice to be able to recognize those notes, because I do take notes in handwriting and I like to have them saved, but I never turn to them because I can't search for them. And that's another thing. It's like there's two search buttons. There's this feature search button within OneNote, and then you have this button over here to search your notebooks, which is just silly. So some people might not understand what's going on there. Okay, and the last is a to-do automatic coloring. I think it will be nice if you're able to do it in like advanced settings, if it's an advanced, quote unquote, advanced user feature. Let's say I put the word to do, or what's another word? Something I could assign, let's say bug fix, and then it would automatically either highlight or change the text, which I think would be really nice if it was automatic, if that feature were automatic. To just change the text color as soon as I type something. I think that would be a really nifty thing to do, and I think a lot of people like myself would appreciate that. Because how many people are going to be typing to do in all caps? They're doing that in the first place to get their attention, but it would be nice to have some color on the page. It's one way to automatically add color, because you obviously have the ability to add color, but it's such a pain for me to mouse over and then highlight or change the color. So those are some suggestions. I think overall you guys have done a great job. I think even like the syncing issues have gone away recently. But again, it's weird. It's random. It doesn't happen all the time. But there have been times where, like on the iPhone, I had to delete the app, reinstall the app, sign in. And I think also on the Chrome Clipper, sometimes it won't let me sign in. So that's something you guys need to fix as well. That's a fix Chrome Clipper. So that's just a list of suggestions that I want to walk through. If any of you developers are watching that, I hope that this will be helpful. If that's it, thanks for tuning in. Bye.